There are many objects in our solar system, such as the sun, planets, moons, asteroids, dwarf planets, comets, and so on. Our solar system is held together by magnetic fields. Each planet has a magnetic field which rotates with them. The sun also has a magnetic field called the heliosphere, which engulfs the entire solar system, holding everything together. Many scientists accept the idea on how our solar system was formed, which is by a giant rotating cloud of gas and dust known as a solar nebula. When the nebula collapsed due to its gravity, it flattened. Most of the materials were stuck to the center to form the sun. Other particles collided and stuck together to form planetesimals. The sun is the largest object in our solar system. It is about 4.5 billion years old. It contains 99.8% of the entire mass of the solar system. It is made up of 70% hydrogen and 28% helium. This changes slowly over time as the sun converts hydrogen to helium in its core. The sun's core temperature is 15.6 million degrees Kelvin, which is roughly 28 million degrees Fahrenheit. Mercury is the first planet away from the sun. Because it has very little atmosphere to stop impacts with asteroids and other space objects, Mercury is covered with craters. Venus is the second planet away from the sun. It is very hot and has a lot of volcanic activity. It is similar to Earth by its structure and size. Venus spins in the opposite direction of most planets. Earth is the only planet to host life, which makes us, of course, unique. Mars is the fourth planet. Like Earth, Mars has seasons, polar ice caps, volcanoes, canyons, and weather. Its atmosphere is too thin for liquid water to exist for a long time. Jupiter is the fifth planet. It is the second most massive object in our solar system, next to the sun, of course. It has dozens of moons and an enormous magnetic field that kind of resembles a mini solar system. Jupiter has similar qualities of a star. It does not grow big enough to ignite. Jupiter is one of 4 planets called a gas giant. Saturn is the sixth planet. It is a very recognizable planet because of its beautiful rings. All of the gas giants have rings made up of ice and rock, but none are like Saturn's. Uranus is the seventh planet. Uranus is another unique planet because unlike the other planets, its equator is nearly at a 90-degree angle. Uranus also has a blue tint due to the methane in its atmosphere. Neptune is the eighth and final planet from our sun. It is more than 30 times as far from the sun than Earth is. It takes Neptune almost 165 years to orbit once around the sun. Dwarf planets are like planets but lack the gravitational pull to scatter objects that near their orbits. They end up orbiting the sun by crossing the paths of other planets. Pluto was the ninth planet in our solar system until 2006 when it was denounced a dwarf planet. Asteroids are rocky objects that orbit the sun but are way too small to be considered planets. There are tens of thousands of asteroids in the asteroid belt, which lies between Mars and Jupiter. Comets are called dirty snowballs. Because of their icy composition, they contain frozen gas, rock, and dust. The Kuiper Belt and Oort cloud are very far from us on Earth. Dwarf planets Pluto and Aries lie within the Kuiper Belt. These regions are home to millions of comets. Another key term in space vocabulary is the term ecliptic. The idea of the ecliptic may be a little tricky to understand. It is an imaginary line on the sky that marks the annual path of the sun. It is the projection of Earth's orbit onto the celestial field. Children have many misconceptions about the solar system. Some believe that the Earth is sitting on something, that the Earth is larger than the sun, or the sun disappears at night. Space is a big idea for children to grasp. It is even hard for some adults. Space never ends and has no direction. Objects in space are extremely far apart and would take years to reach. As we grow older, space is an idea we learn to handle, but can never really fully comprehend.